Now for two of India's biggest exports, meditation and Bollywood. And there is a link. Two Bollywood stars are in New Zealand to promote a form of meditation that aims to rid you and the world of unnecessary stress. The Art of Living, as it's called, is practiced by roughly 25 million people worldwide. I spoke to Lara Dutta and Kunal Kapoor about their mad lives and how meditation and breathing exercise provide them with some relief from the insanity. But first, Claire Sylvester on the ancient Indian practice itself.
Take a deep breath in and let go.
Busy lives outside of this Auckland conference room have been forgotten. All that matters right now is breath.
2, 3. In spite of it being something that is so natural and something we've been doing all our lives, from the beginning till the end, an average human being uses his lungs to only about 30% of its maximum capacity. And breathe out.
The art of living is similar to other forms of meditation, using breath and yoga to calm the mind.
Through the breath, you do go into a state of meditation. Now, when the mind is in the future, it has a tendency to cause some amount of anxiety because you know that the future is not certain. And then if you're thinking of the past, it's something that's over and done with, no point. Nature of the mind is to vacillate between the two. But through the breath, we can bring the mind into the present moment.
Meditation's ability to relieve stress is proven, but scientists are now realising other benefits like increased concentration and pain relief. It may even boost the immune system.
Feel energized?
The guru behind the Art of Living believes meditation can solve everyone's problems.
Well, Indian spiritual leader Sri Sri Ravi Shankar took his message of nonviolence to Iraq.
He's been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for his work in conflict zones.
Most places where people are running away, we're running in.
In New Zealand, followers have been running courses in prisons and youth groups, but this 4-day course is for anyone.
I'd done it about 4 weeks ago, so I need to come back and do a refresher.
But you've noticed the change?
Immediately. I can go without much sleep for the next 4 days, maybe 3 or 4 hours a night, and still be totally awake and fresh.
Everyone who breathes should definitely do this. Should do something, some form of meditation. It's very effective, very simple, very easy to do. Anyone can do it.
Claire Sylvester, two very devoted practitioners of the Art of Living arrived in New Zealand this afternoon. Bollywood stars, big Bollywood stars. One of them, a former Miss World, Lara Dutta, who's now one of the most loved stars in Bollywood with millions of fans throughout the world. And the other, Kunal Kapoor, a very handsome male lead in Bollywood who also directs and choreographs Bollywood dances. Their lives are intensely high pressure and yet they are incredibly calm. I talked to them about work, fame, meditation and breathing deeply.
I won Miss Universe when I was 21 in 2022, and I also was then selected to be a Goodwill Ambassador with the United Nations. That, for people who, if the title sounds too crazy, it's what Angelina Jolie does for UNHCR, it's the same thing. And then being an actress in India, I think at a young age you're kind of exposed to a lot and the pressure is very high.
The pressure's off the scale, isn't it?
It is. Also, Bollywood is the second largest movie industry in the world, so when you're coming in young, especially for the women, the time span that you have is a lot shorter than the men have. So it's do or die. You've got to make it to the top, or you're just out of there.
I have all the time in the world now.
He does. He makes it so much easier.
There's no pressure here. Your entire life is dependent on how people perceive you. I mean, people like you or don't like you. There's a lot of actors that do really well, and then one fine day people don't like them so much. So it's rather unstable. Yeah.
And so, okay, which brings me to how one finds calmness in all of that madness. And this is why you guys are here, I suppose. How do you relax? What is it that you do?
Okay. Well, I think for me, John, before Miss Universe or moviedom, stardom, or any of that happened to me, I was introduced to the Art of Living basic course. This was about 8 years ago. And I did the course, but at that point in time, life was still really carefree. I was just out of college and I was modeling, but I wasn't really doing anything career-wise. You know, I hadn't figured out where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. So at that point in time when I did the course, it didn't really make that much sort of sense to me. Or maybe I wasn't looking for anything deeper in it, and I completely forgot about it. And then I went away and won Miss Universe and became a Goodwill Ambassador with the United Nations, and I started traveling with them. And UNFPA, United Nations Population Fund, works on a lot of women's issues. So a lot of the issues that I saw firsthand was a lot of escalating violence against women. And in India we have a big problem with female infanticide. You know, so when you start seeing these things first person, it kind of shocks you out of this very protected life that you've had and very sheltered kind of upbringing that you've had. And it takes you out into a world where you don't seem, I could seem to understand why a human race would treat themselves and each other like this. I mean, it was sometimes worse than what animals would do to their own kind, you know. That coupled with everything that we spoke about earlier, just, you know, the pressure to perform, to deliver, to live up to kind of expectations, sort of set me off on a journey where I wanted to go back, sort of literally to find myself. I wanted to know what I was about. Why was I here? Why was I doing all these things? Why was I kind of, you know, put in these positions?
About 5-6 years back, I had gone through a lot of things. I had tried yoga and I tried different sorts of things. And 5-6 years back, I said, okay, let me just give this a shot again. And somewhere, you know, I realized that the more I practiced it, the more it took me deeper inside myself.
It definitely makes you more dynamic.
Yeah. The more you can focus on things outside.
It, right? You've just flown in. How long have you been in New Zealand for?
We just flew in like 2 hours.
Right, 3 hours. You've been traveling for 20 hours.
Yes.
I can't get either of you to shut up. I mean, it's extraordinary. So the batteries are on, aren't they?
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
It's an amazing way to give you an introduction to at least get you started off on your journey. It's easy to understand. It has no religious intonations to it. It's completely about breath. It's completely about meditation. And like we said, it, you know, kind of sort of supercharges you up to be all that you possibly can be and more.
The Art of Living.